Have you ever wondered why some friendships seem to disappear after the age of 50? The truth is that life teaches us something very important at this stage. Not all the people we call friends are actually true friends. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, because it is precisely now that you will discover who really matters in your life. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 6 things that only true friendships can do for you after you turn 50. And look, these traits are so specific and so rare that you can probably count on one hand how many people do them for you. But here's the secret. When you identify these 6 things, you'll know exactly who your true friends are and how to cultivate those precious relationships. If you don't pay attention to these 6 traits, you could be wasting time and energy on relationships that don't truly nourish you. And even worse, you could be missing out on the genuine friends who are by your side. So stick with me until the end, because the 6th thing will completely surprise you. It's something very few people do, but when it happens, you know you found a rare treasure. First thing, accept yourself exactly as you are. A true friendship after 50 has a very special characteristic. It accepts you completely without trying to change you or mold you according to other people's expectations. You know that friend who never criticizes you for wearing the same outfit 3 times a week? Or who doesn't judge you when you decide to stay home and watch your favorite shows instead of going out to a noisy party? The problem this solves is huge. Throughout our lives, we spend a huge amount of energy trying to please people, fitting into molds that aren't ours, pretending to be someone we're not. After 50, this social pressure should diminish. But unfortunately, it often continues to be present through toxic relationships that make us feel inadequate. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine that you've always loved gardening, but for years, you've hidden your passion because you thought it wasn't interesting enough. A true friend will not only accept your hobby, but will also show genuine interest, perhaps even asking for tips or visiting your garden. They won't make you feel like you should be doing something more important or productive. The benefits of this acceptance are life-changing. First, it saves you a tremendous amount of energy that you would have previously spent trying to impress or fit in. Second, it frees you to be your authentic self, which reduces anxiety and stress. Third, this acceptance creates a safe environment where you can share your true thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. And finally, when you feel accepted, your self-esteem naturally increases because you no longer need constant approval from others to feel valuable. Second thing, be present in difficult times. The second characteristic of a true friendship after 50 is perhaps the most revealing of all. It shows up in difficult times, not just in celebrations. How many times have you been in a difficult situation and realized that certain people simply disappeared? Well, it happens a lot more than we'd like to admit. The problem this solves is the emotional loneliness that can be devastating in times of crisis. When we face health problems, family losses, financial hardships, or any other life challenge, we need people who won't shy away from our pain, who won't be uncomfortable with our tears or our vulnerability. Let me tell you a real-life example that happens all the time. Imagine you receive a worrying medical diagnosis and need to undergo some more detailed tests. An acquaintance might text you and say, "I hope everything goes well," and then change the subject. A true friend, on the other hand, will ask you for details, offer to go with you to the doctor, call you a few days later to see how you're feeling, and stay present throughout the entire process. No matter how long it takes, the benefits of this presence are immeasurable. First, you develop a sense of emotional security, knowing that you are not alone when things get tough. Second, having someone there in times of crisis speeds up the process of emotional recovery, because sharing the burden makes everything feel lighter. Third, this constant presence creates a deep trust in the relationship, knowing that you can count on that person no matter the circumstances. And finally, when we overcome difficulties with the support of a true friend, our gratitude and affection for that person deepens permanently. Third thing, tell the truth even when it hurts. The third thing that only a true friendship does for you is tell you the truth, even when that truth may be uncomfortable or painful to hear. This may seem contradictory to the first characteristic we talked about, acceptance, but in fact they complement each other perfectly. The problem this solves is that we often have blind spots when it comes to ourselves. We may be making bad decisions, carrying out destructive habits, or interacting inappropriately with others, but we can't see it on our own. Fake friends will agree with everything you say to avoid conflict, while real friends will have the courage to call you out when necessary. Let me give you a practical example that happens a lot after you turn 50. Imagine that you are being scammed by someone who only approaches you when they need to borrow money. You can't see it clearly because you have a good heart and want to help. A true friend will have the courage to sit down with you and explain the pattern they are observing, even though they know that you may be upset at first. The benefits of this honesty are that it protects you in many ways. First, it prevents you from making mistakes that could have serious consequences in your life. Second, it helps you grow as a person because we can only improve when we recognize our flaws and limitations. Third, it creates a relationship based on authenticity, where you can be completely honest with each other. And lastly, when someone tells you the truth, even if it means upsetting you, it shows that they care more about your well-being than their own comfort, which is a sign of genuine love. Now, before we continue with the next features, I need to ask you something very important. If this video is making sense to you, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any content that can transform your life. And tell me in the comments where you are watching this video from. I love knowing where the people who are part of this incredible community that we are building together are. Fourth thing, celebrate your achievements without envy. The fourth characteristic of a true friendship after 50 is the ability to genuinely celebrate each other's achievements and joys, without any trace of envy or competitiveness. This may seem obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many people around us fail to do this sincerely. The problem this solves is a very serious and painful one. Often, when something good happens in our lives, whether it's a promotion at work, a successful relationship, an improvement in our health, or even a personal achievement like learning something new, some people around us react coldly, make negative comments disguised as concern, or simply change the subject quickly. This leaves us feeling like we can't share our joys, which makes the victories that much more lonely. Let me give you a very concrete example. Imagine that after years of trying, you finally managed to retire comfortably, or perhaps you managed to buy that house you always dreamed of. A fake friend might make comments like, "Wow, you're so lucky," or "I hope you don't regret it later," or even, "I wish I had that easy life too." A true friend, on the other hand, will be genuinely happy, will want to know the details, will celebrate with you and may even congratulate you publicly. The benefits of this genuine celebration are transformative for our self-esteem and well-being. First, when we have someone who resonates with us, our joys multiply, become more intense and long-lasting. Second, it creates a positive cycle in the relationship, where you become a source of energy and positivity for each other. Third, knowing that we have someone who truly supports us gives us the courage to dream bigger dreams and seek even greater achievements. And finally, this mutual celebration builds wonderful emotional memories that further strengthen the bonds of friendship. Fifth thing, respect your time and your limits. The fifth characteristic of a true friendship is a deep respect for your time and personal boundaries. After 50, this becomes even more important because our energy is no longer the same as when we were young, and we learn to value our peace of mind more. The problem this solves is the constant invasion that some people make into our lives. You know those people who call at inappropriate times, who show up at your house unannounced, who demand that you attend every social event, or who get upset when you say no to an invitation. These attitudes may seem small, but they are actually very exhausting and disrespectful. Let me give you a very common example. Imagine that you have established a routine of going to bed earlier because you have discovered that it improves your health and mood the next day. A fake friend will continue to call you at late hours, insist that you go out even when you have already said that you are tired, or make ironic comments about your new habits. A true friend, on the other hand, will respect your decision, will adapt the times of contact to your preferences, and may even praise you for taking better care of yourself. The benefits of this respect are essential to a healthy friendship. First, you feel valued as an individual because your needs and preferences are taken seriously. Second, it dramatically reduces stress in the relationship because you don't have to constantly defend your choices or justify yourself. Third, when your boundaries are respected, you naturally feel more comfortable opening up and sharing other parts of your life with that person. And lastly, this mutual respect creates an environment of trust where you can both be authentic without fear of judgment or pressure. Sixth thing, knows you deeply and remembers the details. And we come to the sixth and final characteristic, which is perhaps the most touching of all. A true friend knows you deeply and remembers the little details that matter to you. I'm not just talking about remembering your birthday, but also paying attention to your preferences, your fears, your dreams, and the little things that make your eyes shine. The problem this solves is the feeling of invisibility that many people feel after their 50s. As we get older, we sometimes feel like people no longer see us as unique and interesting individuals, but rather as just another face in the crowd. When someone really knows us and remembers the details of our lives, it makes us feel special and valued. Let me share an example that will touch your heart. Imagine that in a casual conversation, you mentioned that your favorite flower is violets because your grandmother grew them in her backyard. Months later, your true friend shows up at your house with a small pot of violets, not because it's a special day, but simply because he saw the flowers at the flower shop and thought of you. Or maybe you mentioned that you're worried about a medical test, and even weeks later, he still asks you how the results were. The benefits of this deep attention are emotionally nourishing in a way that few other things can be. First, it creates a sense of belonging and importance. You know that you have a special place in that person's life. Second, when someone truly knows us, we can relax and be ourselves without having to constantly explain who we are or what we like. Third, this attention to detail demonstrates a genuine caring love that goes far beyond the superficiality of many relationships. And finally, when we are truly known by someone, we develop a deep emotional connection that can last a lifetime. Now that you know these 6 key characteristics of a true friendship after 50, I want you to take a moment and reflect on the people in your life. How many of them actually do these 6 things for you? And more importantly, are you doing these 6 things for your friends? The truth is that true friendships are rare and precious, especially at this stage of life. But when you find and nurture them, they become one of the greatest sources of joy, support, and meaning you can have. Don't be afraid to invest time and energy in these special relationships because they will sustain and enrich you in ways you can't even imagine. Remember, quality always trumps quantity when it comes to friendships. It's better to have 2 or 3 true friends than dozens of superficial acquaintances. And if you haven't found those special people yet, don't give up. Continue to be the kind of friend you wish you had, because genuine people attract genuine people. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 characteristics caught your attention the most? Have you ever been lucky enough to experience a friendship with all of these qualities? Share your experience in the comments because your stories may inspire others who are watching this video.